ulti.TV.
Come on now!
Nice entrance. Now we've got the flip. Come on, Davis.
Take it.
Let's go ahead to stay. Let's go.
Right, welcome to the showcase game. It's HOS versus I-Beam. Mike Palmer here in the commentary. Dan and Declan are stuffing their faces with food. I got sidetracked talking to peers about all things Ultimate. So they're considerably shorter than me, so it's actually really uncomfortable, but we'll do the best we can. Goes up down the sideline. 1 metre out of the end zone. Where's Simon Talbot, Dan? He should be on the commentary. Swing, oh, big bid there. I don't know if you got a finger on it. It looked good.
I'm not sure he's hanging around for the game though. I think he's gone home. Expect a big lap to TLB at some point.
That's good. When I stuck it in there, it turned on, so it's like 3 mil.
He's got that weird, rangy, flicker style. Dio comes busting down. He'll do that all game. Goes down real fast. Not to put pressure on from the first pass. So Tim Lindsay Graham with the disc. I'll call him TLB from now on because that's easier. JJ. TLB into the middle with Chris Lavis. Call him Chris Boy from now on. Up to James O'Reilly. James goes under to David Jarrett. Dave Jarrett with the disc recently now. The disc. He's got a look. Tim Lavis in the end zone. It's deep. It's very, very deep.
Oh, it was the backup.
Greatest though. That was a great attempt by Tim Lavis there. Gets the disc off and on the field. Thanks, man. So Stu unleashes a flick to Dio. Chris Lavis can't get in there. Dio gets the score. HOS go up early 2-0. So Woodley with the pull. Putting it up. IB. We've got a player here. They need to score. Tim Lavis with a disc. Throwing well out into space with Chris Lavis. TLB in a mad amount of space. Ryan Davey hitting the end zone. Over Macca for the score. That's a big one to I-Beam. That's poetry in motion, and that's I-Beam offense. That's I-Beam offense. So Chile with the pull. That is massive. Chili was telling me that he's been named the puller for the Dingoes team, and that is absolutely perfect. Sliding to the back of the end zone. Now Seb Barr's got to pick up a wet disc. And oh no. What was that? It was dropped in the end zone. Sorry, I missed it. I got players in front of me. Tim Lindsay Brown bringing it back. That mark is really close. Sturt gets the dump. Sturt looking into the end zone. And Tim Lindsay Brown gets the reset. TLB to the open side. Ryan Davey with a score! Ibrahim even it up at 2-all. Brilliant play there by the I-Beamers. And HOS, after a strong start, have gone to sleep by the looks of things. Seb Barr, normally a top flight handler. I don't even know what happened there. Chili putting up the pull. It's another massive pull. That's taking forever to come down. Seb Barr with it. HOS working out of their horizontal. Calavotis with the disc now. Resets to Max Wheeler. Barr throws a bit of a break to Maroney. Maroney to Barr. Getting it out on the sideline to Carlos now. Carlos is a big ulti.TV fan, and we love Carlos because he's a cool dude. Seb Barr unleashing the huck. That's outside in. Section calls, misread it, and Bomber drops it on him. Getting the disc. And we see Chili hit the deck in the foreground. And HOS get the score. Woodley with the pull. And that's a pretty good pull as well. These are two of the better teams in the country. HOS will probably be looking for semis, and I-Beam, well, they have the ability to reach semis. Probably don't expect that, but they will definitely be expecting a quarterfinals berth. JJ to Dave Jarrett. Oh, he's out in front of Tim Lavis. Doesn't quite get it. Dio runs over the top of it. And we've got Keith Hodgson picking up the disc, Spotty as they call him. Dio getting the under. Dio looks off the under. Dan Rule has been running as a handler. Gets away from JJ on that one. Throws a quick one to Keith Hodgson. Hodgson with the disc. Throwing open side, and Stu can't quite get there. DJ hits the afterburners and blows away both those HOS players. Reese Clinton with the disc being marked by Sweet As. Reese Clinton to Tim Lavis. Lindsey Brown going, and Tim Lavis unleashes that big huck. Woodley sends it into the end zone, and Tim Lindsey Brown brings it down, and Woodley knew it. As soon as he hit it, he knew it. He couldn't believe that he just macked that for the score. Lindsey Brown brings it down for I-Beam. That's great by the boys from Newcastle. Chili with the pull. Gee whiz, Chill. I remember playing on the same side as Chili years ago, and gee whiz, he's only got better. Seb Barr with the disc now. Throws a short one to Calavotis. Chili playing strong defense on him. Carlos going open side, and Owen Shepherd hits the afterburners, heading for the end zone. Gator can't get there, and you see half the offside running onto the field before they'd even scored. Surely that's a violation. Maybe we'll check that with Ruben. So HOS score, that's 4-3 to the boys in white from the south of the country. So Woodley with the pull. It's another good one. This one will go to the front of the end zone. Tim Lavis gets up and catches it early. Chris Boy with the disc. Colony coming out in a transition zone. Looks like a bit of a pommy. Maybe a bit of a variation. Lindsey Brown to Lavis. Lindsey Brown, Lavis. Lavis on the far sideline. Tim with the disc. He's sitting on it. And now Dio's got the dump. Chris Lavis gets the disc now, though. Gets the reset. Tim Lavis throws an outside in to Tim Lindsey Brown. TLB with the disc, working against David Knight. Dave Jarrett being marked by Woodley. And Dave does not appreciate the attention Woodley has shown him there. So Woodley brings it in. I don't think he'll stop. That's an absolute feral mark if I've ever seen one. Woodley clearly trying to upset Dave. And Dave's hit the end zone now. And Tim Lindsay Brown puts it up. Sweeters! Dave Jarrett bringing down the score for IB. That's a big one. Over the top of two HOS players. Woodley paying for his option to move off his player there. And IB level it up at 4-all. Chris Hill with the pull. Chile, number 56, more powerful than the sun. His fan club's on the sideline. And that's another big pull. That's in the end zone and bouncing. Seb Barr with the disc. See him wiping it. The ground is starting to get a little bit wet here. See Chile working against Andrew Moroney, and there's a block. Stewart has almost come up with a Callahan. That's amazing play there by I-Beam. This is their chance to break and get it ahead of this HOS team. This HOS team is very miserly though, and lefty in the front of the end zone. Chris Stoddard, the young player, he's only just a couple of years into the game, knows exactly what he's doing, splits the HOS defense and catches the score for I-Beam. That's 5-4. The boys from Newcastle going up a break. So Chris Hill, more powerful than the sun. There's Chile. It's an interesting pulling style he's got. It's clearly effective. It cranks right over and gets his back into that disc. And we see a bit of a Hail Mary play, and Chile's the only one there. Holy crap, and Carlos has come from nowhere and absolutely blown all of them away. And there's the score for HOS. Carlos Gross absolutely blowing away Chris Hill, and Owen Shepherd left them in his dust on the way to that disc. Catches it and then punches in the score. HOS steady the ship. It's now 4-all, 5-all. But I-Beam is still up a break. They're on offense now. So David Knight pulling for HOS. It's their D team on now. Chris Lavis going back for the disc. JJ, the other handler back there. And Spotty undercutting that disc. Doesn't quite get close enough for the bid. JJ to Chris Lavis. Chris Lavis, one of the best handlers in Australia, they say. Incredibly consistent. Very, very accurate thrower. JJ getting down low. He was telling me how he's old and got crap, but he's gotten better with time, I think. Oh, JJ. And a big bid there, but James O'Reilly brings it down. That pass from Tim Lindsay Brown. Lockie Wise on the mark still. Lindsay Brown with the disc. Looks off Tim Lavis after Spotty poaches a bit. High release, forehand. Tim Lindsay Brown with the disc. Throwing a hammer over the top. David Knight, though, reading it well, getting up there, getting the disc to Spotty. Keith Hodgson with the disc. Breaking back to Lockie Wise. And we got a bit of confusion by the I-Beam defense. Several players streaming free. Sweet As with the disc. Breaks inside. And there's a very rough mark by I-Beam. You can tell these boys will play the exact same thing. Woodley with the layup for the score. The crowd says Woodley. Woodley. So David Knight with the pull. HOS, they're back in front with that break. So Juan coming down quick, getting that mark on. Looks like they're going with his zone, even though it is dead still out here. Perfect ultimate conditions and a foul called. Uncontested by the looks of things. So uncontested foul. Dio taps it in. Chris Lavis breaks with a high release to Tim Lavis. Tim Lavis with the disc. Throws in the middle to Chris Lavis, Tim Lindsay Brown. To Davey, back to Tim Lindsay Brown, TLB. Elects not to throw it, but then throws a blade straight through Juan's outstretched hands. Chris Lavis to Tim Lindsay Brown. Tim Lindsay Brown throwing a high one, but Chris Lavis bringing it down, showing his athleticism there. And now the HOS zone starts to play D. And to Chris Boy now. Chris Lavis, TLB, looks off, elects not to throw, and then breaks. Chris Lavis with the disc. Normally you'll trust him with it, just like you'll trust Tim Lindsay Brown Dave Jarrett working through the middle, losing a bit of footage, and then throwing a great strike through the middle of the zone, and a big bid by one. TLB with the disc now, though. You see this wall being worked by the I-beam secondary, and there's Chile catching the goal to finish it off. I-beam steady the ship with that score. Chris Hill pulling. And that's another big pull. It's going real deep in the end zone. Seb Barr with the disc. Holsters the backhand huck. And then a foul call on the mark. Uncontested foul is the call on the field. So Sturt on the mark. They probably put Sturt on the mark because he is a mark specialist. He specialises in shutting down throwers and giving them nothing when they're, used to having the disc in their hands and making big plays. Owen Shepherd, a quick show and go. Andrew Maroney winds up with the flick. Sturt, Seb Barr. Sturt with the block over the top of Seb Barr. That's clean as you like. And that's not what he's known for, but he'll do it when he needs to. Seb Barr unable to get the read he wanted there, I think. Couldn't get the elevation either. So I-beam have a chance at here. There is no room out there to breathe, ladies and gentlemen. It is so tight. There's no room for mistakes, and there's definitely no room for chumps. Chile winding up that big flick that he's got. He stamps his foot and he lets it go. You watch him work here on the near sideline. This is Gator with the disc. Holsters the backhand. Tim Lindsay Brown gets a reset. Going for a big meter gainer to Chile. Chris Hill unleashing it to Stuart Sinclair. Seb Barr gets the block though over the top. Seb Barr unable to pull that last one down. Gets the block though. Gets his team back on O. He'll go back and pick this one up. So Barr with the disc. Up the line to Maroney. Maroney throwing inside to Calavotis. Pick called. So disc is tapped in. Calavotis with the disc now. Having a look around. Lefty on the mark. So Stuart Sinclair on the mark. And he's absolutely rough out there. Sturt shuts down the dump. And then Seb Barr comes back and gets it anywhere. Owen Shepherd. Calavotis inside of the field. Owen Shepherd has that wickedly quick release. And then Owen Shepherd to the corner. HOS get the score, but there's a call on the field. Pick, says Ruben. Thank you for that, Ruben. We love it when the players show us what's going on because it makes things so much easier. Seb Barr will have to have another shot here. And I-beam get another chance to stop HOS from scoring. So the disc is tapped in. Seb Barr breaking the mark. Calavotis just about pivots through lefty. Vodis working to Seb Barr. Works off. Holsters and then throws to Owen Shepherd. Owen Shepherd to Maroney. Maroney with the disc. Throws to Calavotis, who's been working well, to an open side score for HOS. That's not good news for I-beam. Saw Gator kind of slack off on that D there. He maybe had a bid, maybe not. I won't judge him too harshly though. He's probably much better than I am. So Woodley with the pull. Dio is running down hard. Apparently he does this all tournament. Love to be like that. Chris Lavis with the disc. Put into a lot of space there by his brother. Elects not to throw it. Reese Clinton working behind the cup. Lavis to Lavis. Chris Boy with the disc. Fakes slowly. And then breaks to JJ, who has a quick one to Reese, who gets rid of it immediately. Probably a good play there, and it's a transition by the looks of things. They've gone to a man. They just want to stop I-beam's high-powered offense. But speaking thereof, Lockie Wise, Dave Jarrett. Lockie Wise can't get it. Dave Jarrett, big frame, boxes him out and takes down the score. Chris Hill with the pull. Chile, more powerful than the sun. That's another bloody big pull. That's held up there for a long time. So Barr with the disc, throws to Calavotis, who's been cutting really well. Carlos to Owen Shepherd. Owen Shepherd puts up a huck. Seb Barr miles in front of his player. Not quite in the end zone though. Looks off the throw. Still got it. Lefty dump. He's thrown it to no one. Tim Lindsay Brown picks it up and dumps immediately to Tim Lavis. And no, Chris Stoddard has turned around to come under. Tim Lavis thought he was going one way. Chris Stoddard was going the other and miscue on the O. So now HOS get it back after Seb Barr caught that brilliant catch after the end of that massive cut. Couldn't punch it in. Seb Barr with the disc. Throwing just to the sideline here and then gets the reset straight away. Owen Shepherd has been running hard and now he's versus Chris Stoddard. Chris Stoddard with a massive block over the top. That is a huge block. He's just sailed in from 2 meters adrift. Got the block over the top. That is absolutely incredible defense there by Lefty. So Tim Lavis bringing it in, throws it immediately to Chris Stoddard. Stoddard with the disc. They call him Lefty, being hassled here. Pivots and throws it out in the space. What a great throw. Getting away from that really tough mark being applied there by Owen Shepherd. Chris Hill with it. And he's in trouble to Tim Lindsay Brown, throwing out into space. The resets are so hard, and now Tim Lindsay Brown unleashes it. Chris Stoddard, can he get there? He can't. He can't believe it. The crowd is full of heckles and all kinds of language coming from over there. Seb Barr with the disc to Owen Shepherd, who's playing against Chris Stoddard. And Stoddard's holding his own against the old veteran. Owen is wily as they come. An absolute genius when it comes to thinking about the game. Many of you will probably have seen his blog, Think Ulti. Seb Barr gets the reset off to Owen Shepherd. Shepherd with the disc. Throws a no-look to Seb Barr. Luckily, Seb's been playing with O-Shep for a little while and has come to expect those ones. Calavotis with the disc to Owen Shepherd, who's getting a lot of the frisbee right now. A dump to Max Wheeler, and boys are hitting the end zone like crazy now. Calavotis with the disc to the middle of the field. Carlos into the end zone for the score. HOS bring it down after a very hard fought point. They take half, 8-7. Talking to some of the I-beam boys, just trying to understand the draw. In the scheme of things, a win here is actually very important because you carry your win forward into the power pools and then into the quarters. So if they lose here, they'll have 2 tough matchups. Sorry, if they win here, they're going to have 2 tough matchups, and that win will help them get a better placing and possibly avoid a pre-quarter, which is the 7, 8, 9, and 10 that play off to get into the quarters. So avoiding that game will be high on their mind. Right now, though, HOS have taken half. It's 8-7. So Chile with the ball. We're back after half-time. It's starting to rain here, so we've just had to cover everything up. Hopefully nothing explodes and it all works okay. Seb Barr catching that ball. So IBM have come out in a transition. Hammer over the top to Owen Shepherd. Shepherd, Maroney, Shepherd. And, Maroney getting the disc. And Lefty with a bit of a bid over his shoulder. Maroney gets the reset. IBM have since transitioned. Maroney throws to Calavotis. And whoa, what a bid by Chile. He knew he was slightly too far for that one. Sick bid, but doesn't get the disc. HOS score after half. That's not good signs for IBM. They've ran with them this far. Now is where they need to keep running and keep converting. Woodley pulling. We see Sweeto is back on the field in the pink boots. He has struggled to have an effect in this game. Tim Lindsay-Brown with the disc, marked up against Keith Hodgson. Two very similar players there, very, very wiry, very, very quick, and bid like nothing else. Dave Jarrett catches that score though on a Tim Lavis hark. Great shot there by A-Beam. They steady the ship. They get their heads back in the game. They take that easy convert, and they move forward. Now they need a block, and now they need to take this game to HOS. Chile with the pull. Gee whiz. He's been doing a great job for I-Beam tonight, pulling. Seb Barr centering the disc. Max Wheeler coming across the front of the stack. Bit of a break there to Owen Shepherd. Working against Gator. Seb Barr with the disc. Given a free shot by TLB, however it works out. As Seb has nothing. And then Owen gets the reset. Throws a quick one out to the side to, I think that's Tim Wise with the disc here. Playing against Chile. And then Owen Shepherd gets the reset. Very, very canny. And very, very wily. Owen Shepherd points. Throws a scuba dooba over the top to Max Wheeler. Max has seemed to have slotted in well into this HOS side. Gives a... So, sorry, the camera is flicking on and off here. Owen Shepherd breaking the mark, and I think a pick was called there. Roger Jonas, by the looks of things, calling it. Roger is, of course, the younger brother of Jonathan Jonas, or JJ as I've been calling him. Rog tends to get ho, and he's very, very technically precise when he does. He has a very beautiful layout form. Max Wheeler, quick one to Tim Wise. Tim Wise, will he whip out the bladey forehand? Owen Shepherd is pointed out to be the... So the score is 10-8 now to HOS. To the far sideline, I can't see who that is. Wheeler goes up the line, and Ryan Davey can't quite get there quick enough. Max Wheeler catches the score for HOS. So DK with a pull. It's another good pull. These boys have been pulling brilliantly tonight. Tim Lindsay-Brown catches it to JJ, brother of Roger Jonas. Chris Lavis getting the disc. Looks like Stu Austin playing some physical defense against Chris Boy. Tim Lavis against Sweet As. TLB gets the disc, working under. Reese Clinton gets shut down though by Lockie Wise. Tim Lavis catches that one in the offhand and then breaks to James O'Reilly. Tim Lavis pivoting around on that forehand. TLB with the disc, throws a break to JJ. JJ with the disc, looking, engages the dump, and then gets him. Tim Lavis has been running this offense. James O'Reilly to Dave Jarrett, who's putting it up. And that one goes out of bounds. I'm not sure what happened there. I think that might have been a miscue or a hand block. I have to have a look on the replay. Sorry, I'm sleeping here. Dan Rule, DK, David Knight. Oh, and he's thrown it past Sweetos. Sweetos isn't having the best game. I'm not sure if that was a misread or a thrower error. Chris Lavis with the disc. Puts it up deep to Tim Lindsay-Brown. And he's schooled up two HOS players, and I'm not sure what on earth happened there, but Tim Lindsay-Brown has come up with it. Great grab by TLB. That brings it to 10-9. I-Beam are still very much in this game. So Chris Hill with the pull. And there's another good pull, except this one will come back a little way. May end up on the front of the end zone. Max Wheeler catches this one on the pull straight away to Seb Barr. Barr with the disc. Swinging out wide to Maroney. To Calavotis, who's been cutting like an absolute machine. Getting easy reset after easy reset. Owen Shepherd working in front of Gator. Again, another monster cutter. And here's the last one for HOS, Carlos. These three boys have been absolute monsters out there. And Maroney with a specky grab. Doing that one for the crowd, I think. And now he's been pointed. Carlos was pointing back to the dump, and Maroney's called a foul. So Maroney Moroney with the disc. Engages the dump. Owen Shepherd goes one way, back the other, comes back that other way. One thing Owen Shepherd is known for is his ability to go sideways at exactly the same speed he runs forwards. They call him a crab. Max Wheeler, looks off the break, throws the around. Chris Stoddard can't get there. Calavonis catches the score for HOS. And HOS is still in front. I-beam, they need answers. But first, they need this offensive score. So, Woodley with the pull. And this could be the first one that'll go out of bounds. We have a winner. Woodley, the first one to pull it out of bounds this game. We'll blame it on the wet desk, Woodley. Starting to rain again. So Woodley on Tim Lavis. Look for an absolutely feral mark here. James O'Reilly gets it. Looks off the deep shot. Oh, beard there. And Tim Lindsay Brown unleashes it to Dave Jarrett, who gets it for the score. Dave Knight with a bit of a bid, but Dave Jarrett brings it down for the score. I-beam, they hold serve. Now they need this break badly. So Chile still batting 100% with these pulls. Max Wheeler catching that one up to the front of the end zone for Barr. Moroney draws two players. Now I think that's Lachlan with the disc, being marked by Chris Hill, Chile. Wheeler being marked by Stuart Sinclair. Moroney with the disc, elects not to throw it to Tim Wise, who is going deep. Wheeler throws out in the space, and Davey gives him a bit of a shove in the back. Just trying to get to the disc there, I think. Owen Shepherd centers to Moroney, who's playing a great position in this offense, working it through this I-beam defense. Lachlan dumps to Wheeler. Stuart Sinclair steps into Wheeler there to stop him throwing the around. Gets the reset to Moroney, who goes straight back in the middle to Barr. And there's a pick called. So the disc is in. Sashin leaning on Barr. Barr gets the disc off. Wheeler throws it up into space. Barr gets it. Pick called again. I-beam are looking to muscle up on this point. And Sashin Call gets a block. He's even newer than Chris Stoddard. And right now, the young guys for I-beam have come up big. Two blocks. So Tim Lindsay Brown with the disc here. Throws an easy one to Chris Stoddard. Stoddard got hassled a little bit to call. Two young guys combining here to Stu Sinclair, who puts it in the air for Chris Stoddard, who brings down the score for I-beam. That is a break. They badly need it, and there's a call on the field. There's a call. Foul signals. Ruben, I'm not sure on who. I think we can hear what the crowd thinks of that one. I believe it was a foul called on Ryan Davey by Tim Wise. I'm not sure why, because Tim Wise had no play on that disc. I-beam will have to do it again. So Stu Sinclair coming in with the disc. Need to punch this one in. I-beam need this score. This is the break they need. And they're still discussing it on field. Max Wheeler on the mark. He'll be looking to hold the force here, help his team out. Make sure that Stu doesn't throw anything to the break side. Reset to Tim Lindsay Brown, getting away from Andrew Moroney. Guarding the dump is always a tough thing, though. Tim Lindsay Brown points, and then resets to Stu Sinclair. Sinclair with the disc, he's gesturing, and they get the reset again. Tim Lindsay Brown to the open side, and Ryan Davies has dropped it straight through his hands. That's unfortunate for I-beam. Owen Shepherd picks up the disc, throws a fake, and then resets to Barr. Sasha Call almost gets another block there. Barr with the disc. Sasha seems to have really long arms out there. throwing a really big around there to Wheeler, who unleashes the huck deep to Maroney. Tim Lindsay-Brown tracking him down. Maroney catches the score. I-beam, really unfortunate there for I-beam. They had that score. A bit of a contentious call there by Tim Wise by the looks of it. However, HOS turn around, bring it back the other way, and I-beam are in trouble now. Okay, Tim Lavis catching the pull. Jonathan Jonas. Tim Lavis. Reese Clinton. Whoa. See Stu Austin come screaming in there, looking to shut down that easy pass. And it looks like HOS have transferred into a man defense now. James O'Reilly with the disc. And Tim Lavis hits the end zone. Reese Clinton gets it out in front of Stu Austin. Dave Jarrett. Dave Jarrett looking for the reset now. Throws up an interesting pass, and that has got to be the farthest discount on earth. So he's retracted that call there. Woodley knew he counted fast because we all knew it too. But right now he's going to look to muscle up. Reese Clinton looking to set the stack. TLB gets the disc. Chris Lavis hitting the fat side of the field. Tim Lavis in a lot of space now. JJ moving well out there. Chris Lavis with the disc now after making that big cut, covered by Sweet As. Tim Lavis sends Dio up the line, but then Chris Lavis sends a big one out, but his brother tracks it down and saves him. Tim Lavis with the disc now. Will probably look to reset. No, brace the mark to Reese Clinton. Reese on the line, looking to throw this in. Will he get the shot? Instead, it engages the dump, gets it to Tim Lavis, who's been so reliable for I-beam in this game. And now he's got nothing. Reese Clinton goes up the line, gets it on Stu Austin, throws it to the brace side of the field. Thanks for coming, Reese. The whip it, puts it in there. I-beam, that's what they needed right there. They needed to punch in that score. Now they need that break and that score after they get the turn. Chris Hill with the pull. And there's another good one from Chile. That's hanging up there for a while. Max Wheeler catching it. HOS offense, got to work this one in. Owen Shepherd gets free, and a pick call. Pick call. So Chris Stoddard was picked on Andrew Maroney by the looks of things. Makes up his ground. Owen Shepherd still in a lot of space here. He'll probably look to clear. HOS are very, very ordered in the way they go about playing Ultimate. Very, very organised. Reset to Seb Barr. Throws it to Tim. Oh, and Dave Jarrett had a look over his shoulder there. Wise with the disc to Carlos. To Owen Shepherd. Owen Shepherd unleashes it. Gator. Max Wheeler. Gator. And Max Gator has come up with it. That is a massive, massive contest. And the boys are going to argue about this until the cows come home. And the result is contested grab. So it'll go back to Owen Shepherd. So Owen Shepherd, another opportunity here. Gator played really well on Max there. And whoa, Gator. You're just kind of waiting for him to explode out of his shell. Seb Barr, electing not to throw anything deep. Tim Wise. Dave Jarrett just muscles him over. And Gator playing on Max Wheeler. Owen Shepherd gets the disc. If there was less room, there was no room earlier, there's even less now. Tim Wise catches it, but there's a call on the field. Pick, says Ruben. Thanks, Ruben. Pick is the call on the field. So Owen Shepherd with the disc. HOS right on the doorstep. I-beam need to halt this offense and get this turn. Gator doesn't get there, and Max Wheeler catches the score after what was a real interesting point. And it's trouble for I-beam. It's trouble. They're hanging in there, but time is running out. And they've got to do something now. David Knight pulling. And it looks like this one's going out of bounds. Could slide out. Does slide out. Chris Lavis electing to take the brick. Chris Lavis breaking one. Jonathan Jonas with the disc now. JJ resets to Chris Lavis in the middle of the field. Hits Reese Clinton on a bit of a pop. Tim Lindsay Brown rather. Immediately breaks straight back to Chris Lavis. JJ with the disc. Chris Lavis goes up the line and draws a player. Reese clears space. Tim Lavis, Chris Lavis. And they've transferred into a man. Keith Hodgson works hard. Cuts off the look to Tim Lavis. JJ with the disc. Throws to Dave Jarrett. Dave working against Dave Knight. Tim Lavis, who seems to be getting away from Keith Hodgson. Resets to Tim Lindsay Brown. Lindsay Brown with the disc. TLB with it. Getting stuck. He's in trouble. He's thrown it to James O'Reilly for the score. Talk about a heads-up play and getting lucky. It's amazing that one came off. Normally when you see a high stall count, it's a speculative throw to a big pack of players. But that time, James O'Reilly just found himself on the break side, and Tim Lindsay Brown found him too. I'm sure TLB will tell us that was completely planned. I-beam back on defense. That's another big ball. Chris Hill said in my tips earlier in the week that he's a thoroughbred racehorse, and it's not far wrong. He's got a heart the size of Firelap, and he just keeps running. Ryan Davey, Chris Calavotis, here we go. Calavotis, the Greek meat, brings it down over Davey. Barr has it, puts it out into space for Calavotis. HOS are on the field. They know it's good. I-beam give up another score. That's not what they need. They need to stay on D. And now time is really, really getting short. Woolley with the pull. 14-12, I think, right now. So if HOS get this turn and then punch it in, they win. Tim Lavis getting it. Dio running down hard. JJ. HOS back in this transition zone. They know that I-beam is such a high-powered offense that they will punch it in, given half a chance and 2 throws. Tim Lavis with the disc. Throws straight through the middle to Chris Lavis. Brother to brother. Tim Lavis with the disc now. Breaking back to JJ. Jonathan Jonas with the disc. JJ throwing across to Reese Clinton. Whip it with the disc. Looks off the dump. Throws an easy reset to James O'Reilly. Gets the pass, nearly fumbles it. The disc is getting greasy. Throws a high release forehand. Tim Lavis is grinning. He loved that. Tim likes his high release too, so that's why he would have liked it. James O'Reilly elects not to throw it to Chris Lavis and then puts it into a lot of space for Tim Lindsay Brown, who brings down the score for I-beam. That's what they needed. 14-13. The game is still on, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see I-beam get a break here and take this thing to Universe Point. Game to 15. Timeout called. So Chile, potentially the last pull of the game for him. More powerful than the sun, and he's been ripping out absolute monsters all night like that. Chris Stoddard getting down there. Oh, he had a bit on that if he just wanted it. Calavotis been playing well all game, working under it, getting resets. This looks like the best D-line I-beam can put out there. Reset by Barr, gets the disc back. Stoddard working against Barr. Calavotis under again. And then Barr unleashes it, but Tim Lavis gets a hand on it. Chris Hill in there. Max Wheeler brings it down, throws a quick one. Carlos for the win. HOS get the game off the back of a great play by Max Wheeler. 14-13 is the final score. Thank you for joining us from the showcase game here on day 1 of Australian Nationals 2012. It's been a pleasure bringing the game to you. My voice is absolutely fragged after an entire game of commentating Ultimate. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to our sponsors, VC and Zone. They helped us get here, so if you ever need gear, make sure you consider one of those because they are both great companies that provide high-quality equipment to Ultimate players. So the final score, 15-13 to HOS Burgundy. Getting over iBeam. iBeam will no doubt be a little bit disappointed about that. The game did go to seed. However, they had the opportunity to get that win, carry it through. However, they don't. So they could be up against a pre-quarter in the next couple of days. Thank you and good night.